Folks, the left is having a complete meltdown, and it's a sight to behold. MSNBC's Eddie Glaude nearly broke down in tears on live TV, claiming Kamala Harris needs to win to protect babies. The hypocrisy is staggering. This is the same man who advocates for abortion rights, yet he can't spare a tear for the victims of the migrant crime wave unleashed by Biden and Harris open border policies. The left's selective outrage is on full display, and we're going to break it all down for you. Now, check this out. Are you listening? As the left melts down over Trump's rising popularity, our country's national debt has surpassed $35 trillion. We're borrowing just to pay interest, digging a deeper hole. Meanwhile, gold has surpassed $2,400 an ounce. Smart money is shifting from paper promises to what the Constitution deems real money, gold and silver. So if you have funds sitting in a low-interest bank account or a 401k IRA retirement account, you need to call my friends at Global Gold Investments, America's leading conservative precious metals dealer, and receive absolutely free their new 2024 Protect Your Wealth and Retirement Guide. Call that number on the screen, 888-700-4148. Mention Next News and receive their 5-star customer treatment along with their complimentary portfolio analysis. Operators are standing by. Call 888-700-4148 or visit IRAGoldproof.com. Remember, if you don't have gold, then you don't have wealth. You'll find the link in the description below. Okay, so we'll kick this off. This was going viral today, and this guy suffers severely from Trump Derangement Syndrome. And it got so bad that even Claire McCaskill told him to take a deep breath. MSNBC panelist Eddie Glaude nearly starts crying on live air, says Kamala Harris needs to win to protect babies so children don't get bombed. I wasn't quite sure what he was talking about here, so let's watch.
And the Liz Cheney, Donald Trump got in 2020. So it took historic numbers to beat him, right? And so now we get enamored with the Dick Cheneys and the Liz Cheneys and the Flakes and the da-da-da-da, right? And this man is running around here busting his chops, scaring the hell out of communities. Right? And we're trying to figure out how to keep that middle, locked in on her when she needs to bust him in his mouth. I'm saying it like that because he's dangerous. He's dangerous.
Need to bust him in his mouth, he says. And then he realizes, and he goes, because he's dangerous. I mean, here he is. This guy's inciting violence right now. Okay, I'll back it up. I know you guys don't like when I interrupt, so here I'll back it up for you.
In on her when she needs to bust him in his mouth. I'm saying it like that because he's dangerous. He's dangerous to particular people. And the history of the country is such that we can't play fast and loose with it. Does that make sense?
Isn't it incumbent on all of us to protect the people who are endangered by him?
But you never have.
Who?
That's the rub. You never have. And so part of what we have to do in the midst of this is to engage in a deep-seated political calculus, right? Even though we know that she has to get the middle, we got to come out and try to figure out how to turn out in large historic numbers, because we got to keep this troglodyte out of office. Because if he comes in, our babies are going to be in danger. Because remember, those young children are going to grow up with the memory of having to not go to school for the threat of bombs. And somebody told them that their moms and dads eat cats and dogs. I'll get myself together, Claire.
Okay, take a minute. Deep breath.
Well, what about that?
I understand what you're saying. It is.
Okay, so what is this guy? What is he saying? Kids are afraid to go to school for threats of bombs? What is that even a reference to? I couldn't find any like current bomb threats in schools. Is that a thing now? Am I missing something? And the stuff he's talking about in Ohio? Yeah. Maybe if he dug a little deeper, he'd find the truth. Maybe he'd find the police reports and the videos of people. I mean, I've seen the videos of them actually eating dogs. I've seen it. Yeah. Go on X, just type it in. You'll find it. It's there. It's horrific. But here's the problem with this guy. Here's the problem. He says Harris needs to win to protect babies. This guy is an advocate for abortion. He cares about babies so much. I responded to this. I said, wait, so Eddie wants to codify abortion rights in one breath, but now he's crying on MSNBC about protecting babies from bombs. Which is it? Funny how basic decency changes when it fits the narrative. Here's what he said in August 7th. Republicans are going to throw around the words liberal and radical to scare voters. What do you mean? He actually said this. Republicans are going to throw around the words liberal and radical to scare voters. This is an old strategy. Don't fall for the shorthands. There is nothing radical about free lunch for kids, strengthening workers' rights, investing in affordable housing, codifying abortion rights. Maybe all this is basic decency and reflects a responsibility for the common good. Oh, man. And meanwhile, he's using rhetoric about punching him in the face, calling him dangerous. How many times have they used this extreme rhetoric that stirs up so much hatred from the left? That's all these people do. Meanwhile, never saying a word about what's happening. This was a difficult report for me to compile because I had to look at information that was very, very, very disturbing about people and children, women, all victims of Kamala Harris's open border, of the border czar. I'm going to run down a little list here. Here's one. This is 3 days ago. Dallas, Texas County. Wilden Benega Secuda arrested for indecency. Now, I'm not going to say a lot of these things, so you're going to have to look at the screen because I don't want to even say these words. Okay? So do me a favor. Just look at the screen. You'll understand why. You can see it right there. Indecency. He has an immigration detainer hold. Crawford County, Wisconsin, Alejandro Jose Cornel Zarate arrested for domestic disorderly conduct, domestic battery, strangulation, suffocation, and that right there. Those two lines. Small city, rural Wisconsin, population just 5,400, announced the arrest of suspected Venezuelan gang member who allegedly violated violently and did something. I can't even read this stuff, man. This stuff is just horrible. Here, I'll let this guy do it for me.
Hit and run. 20-year-old man, he's facing DWI charges in a hit-and-run crash in Dallas that injured several children, some seriously. Police say 20-year-old Jose Castro was also traveling fast when he slammed into a vehicle with 2 adults and 6 children inside. The crash happened as the victim's vehicle turned from Rugged Drive onto West Ledbetter Drive in central Oak Cliff. A 4-year-old child was ejected from the vehicle and taken to the hospital in critical condition. A 5-year-old boy was also seriously injured. The rest of the children were taken to the hospital and are recovering. The 2 adult victims in the car were not injured. Dallas police say Castro ran from the crash scene but was later arrested in a nearby neighborhood. Jail records indicate Castro is in the country illegally.
That's just one. There's countless stories. Here's another one. This guy got in an argument over a jukebox.
Shooter, and the video is tough to watch. A man shoots another multiple times, and it all happened in the middle of a restaurant. Police tracked down the suspected shooter, and he has been arrested. Did an argument over a song on a jukebox lead to murder? It's what witnesses say happened inside this restaurant off Davie Boulevard in Fort Lauderdale early Monday morning. Surveillance video from inside shows two men talking before things escalate and get physical. Then the man in the red pulls out a gun, firing one shot. We've stopped the video before more shots were fired. The suspected gunman, Cesar Estrada, was arrested by U.S. Marshals and the Fort Lauderdale Police Department's fugitive unit. The man killed was identified as Socorro Camacho. The medical examiner's office removed his body from the scene for autopsy. Restaurant staff says Camacho was a regular customer and good person. Estrada is facing a first-degree murder charge. He was denied bond and refused to show up in court Wednesday morning. Police have not said if the suspect and victim knew one another. The video.
This is just a snapshot of the disaster that is Kamala Harris's America. All of these things could have been avoided if the border was shut down. It could have all been avoided. Yismael Blanco Gonzalez arrested for aggravated blank. Another one, a man accused of injuring 6 children in a DUI crash. We played that report. And this guy right here says that if we don't vote for Kamala Harris, babies are going to get hurt. Kamala Harris needs to win to protect babies and so children don't get bombed. We need to elect Donald Trump so that we can deport all these criminals. That's what's important. This guy on MSNBC just spewing more hateful rhetoric. That's all he's doing. Stirring up the people the 3 people who are still watching MSNBC. This was not an easy report to compile, guys. I mean, there was too much to go through. Things I don't even want to talk about.
1,500. And Sandra, bear with me. We just got these numbers moments ago, but it's a jaw dropper to say the least. So to set the stage here, let me just explain what these numbers mean. ICE has something called a non-detained docket. Essentially what that is it means migrants who were encountered by DHS but are no longer in federal custody. So who's on this non-detained docket? It's illegal immigrants who were caught and released at the border, released with the court date years away. They're in immigration proceedings, combined with illegal immigrants who have already been ordered, deported from the country by a judge, but are still here roaming the country. So keep that in mind, this non-detained docket.
All these people are here illegally, causing those crimes. Kids getting murdered. I don't want to say other things. And the left's going to go ahead and tell you that if you don't vote for Kamala Harris, that babies are going to get hurt as they push for abortion. We are living in clown world USA. There's no other way to put it. So the left's hysteria over Trump and their blind support for Harris expose a deep-seated fear that the American people are waking up to their failed policies. From open borders to economic mismanagement, the evidence is clear. But here's what I want to know from you. What do you think is driving this extreme emotional response from the left? Is it genuine concern? Or just a desperate attempt to cling to power? Share your thoughts in the comments below.